Alright, welcome back everyone. So today I'm going to be telling you my thoughts as to why you should be investing in 2022. Now before I do, let's hit the random number generator. The goal like I'm setting for today's video is set to 119 thumbs up. And so all of you just hit that thumbs up right now. Quickly before I jump into why I believe we should be investing in 2022, I just want to say for anyone that's new to the channel, it'd be great to have you on board. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. But with that said, let's jump straight into the video. So we can see on my Trading 212 growth-based portfolio that I'm currently down 25%, a return of almost minus £3,000. And for many individuals out there, if they happen to see figures that are in the red by quite a large amount, then now is a good time to understand what type of investor you are. When you see these figures that are in the red and relatively high numbers, does that deter you from investing more into the market, or does it motivate you more? And so when I think about motivation, when I look at the companies that I own, I ask myself if I'm willing to put more money into the company when it's down, say, 20% or down at 38%. And the way I answer that question is by having the confidence in the underlying company. And so when I look at the likes of Block, or formerly known as Square, when I look at some of the stats, do I feel confident that this company can turn around and see that price reflected in the underlying stock value? And so if I'm not willing to put money into any of these companies that are very high in the red zone, then I have to ask if I should be holding the company anymore. And so for the general person out there, if these high negative values deter you from investing any more money, then that's not really a problem. You've identified that you're not willing to invest more into that company. The next question you have to ask yourself is if you're going to be willing to invest into other companies that may end up having the same outcome as well. And unfortunately, if you're someone who just isn't willing to put money into the stock market because you don't have a long-term game plan, then unfortunately the recommendation is to either stay uninvested or to invest in a way where you're not seeing the day-to-day price fluctuations. So put money into a certain tracker and simply don't look at your portfolio until 10 years from now. But other than that small set of users out there, investing in 2022 is actually a great time to buy. We've had the likes of 2020 and 2021, which was very bullish until late 2021. And so this is one of the first times where we've seen a pullback in the market and we're seeing more sensible levels with respect to some of the pricing of these companies. But the way you have to look at this is that, let's just say the overall stock price was around the amount that I invested, so £11,500. On average, all of these companies would be much higher than what they are currently. But given that I am willing to invest into these companies, now that they are cheaper compared to the prices they were before, I'm paying for the same amount of shares a much lower amount. And another way of thinking about this is when you go food shopping. So let's just say you're buying a loaf of bread. Let's say for ease it's at £1, and then suddenly it's discounted at 50 pence. Now, are you someone who is thinking about all your previous purchases when you paid, say, £1.50 for your loaf of bread? Does it annoy you that in the past it was much more expensive? For most people out there, you're just not going to care because it's a consumable item. But when it comes with stocks, we always have an indication of how much we've put into the stock, and we are tracking the performance since we started purchasing. But the way you have to see it is that if it's cheaper than what your average price was, so with the likes of Mace Rich, I'm down 4.54%, but it's now 4.54% on average cheaper to buy than what I was previously doing. And so when we think about long-term investors or just investors out there that want to continually buy into a company, it's actually exciting times to see figures all the way in the red. Now, of course, we do have to look into certain companies and decide whether or not their fundamentals are still good and whether we should be pouring more money into these companies. But very quickly, if you look at the likes of Beyond Meat, £78, if I put in another £78, I can reduce this all the way down to, say, 25% mark in terms of my quote-unquote net loss. And so for me, unfortunately, I have a set amount of money that I can invest in each month. At the moment, I'm focusing on certain companies that I believe can double or 4x. I will be providing more follow-up videos on the types of companies that I'm looking in at the moment. But when I look at my portfolio, there's so many companies here that I would love to place money in. You take a look at PayPal, for instance. There is nothing wrong with this company. Everything is great in terms of the fundamentals. Why I have just £7 in this company, I have no idea. I need to put more money into this one. But as with anything out there, if you look at the likes of drinking water, it can be dangerous if you drink too much. And it's the same with investing as well. You want to be stable in your approach, have a figure in mind into how much you want to invest every month, allocate that money and decide which companies you want to invest in. If you don't want to pick individual companies, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do so, then just invest in a standard ticker symbol out there. For anyone that's interested, there's a range. So we've got the likes of Vanguard, FTSE, high dividend yield. There's a range out there. But for 2022, there is no way that you're going to see me sitting on the sidelines. Now is as good as any time to invest into the stock market. And so we should feel uplifted that when we buy into these companies, we are getting them at a discount. So let me know in the comments below which company you plan on investing in next. As always, new videos are posted each week. Thanks to everyone who has stayed subscribed. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.
Lick with courage, I lick the scourge, lick the scourge, you know